Minced meat is one of the fastest weeknight shortcuts in Australia, but it's also one of the easiest places for a grocery shop to go wrong. You can't really inspect it. It's a repeat purchase, and when something is off, it affects the whole batch. Food Standards Australia New Zealand published mince recalls in 2025 for plastic contamination, and the NSW Food Authority published penalty notices where premium mince was found with an illegal preservative. Today, we're counting down 5 minced meat brands Australians should avoid, and then we'll finish with 3 better options. Alright, number 5, Free Country Organic Beef Mince, 500 grams, produced by Auspork Australia Petripidant Limited. This one makes the list for a simple, documented reason: foreign matter in mince. According to a FSANZ recall alert published on September 23, 2025, Free Country Organic Beef Mince 500 grams, Auspork Australia Pty Ltd, was recalled due to the presence of foreign matter, specifically plastic. FSANZ also listed wide distribution across NSW, the ACT, Victoria, South Australia, Queensland, the Northern Territory, and Tasmania. Now, a recall isn't a moral judgment on a brand. It's a safety mechanism. But it is still a signal you should take seriously, especially for minced meat. Plastic contamination is not a quality preference issue. It's an injury risk, and it's one of those hazards you might not notice until you're already eating. Here's the part people miss. When a recall hits, a lot of shoppers think, "That won't be me, we would have noticed." With foreign matter, you often don't. Mince is mixed, and it's usually cooked into sauces, pies, meatballs, dumplings, things where you're not visually inspecting every bite. That's why recall alerts exist. So what do you do with this information as a shopper, without turning life into paranoia? First, separate labels from process control. Organic can be meaningful, but it does not automatically mean no manufacturing incidents. A recall can still happen, and this one did. Second, keep packaging and date markings visible until you cook it. If a recall drops, you can check fast. Third, if you portion and freeze mince, label your freezer bags with the product name and the month and year you bought it. 10 seconds now saves you confusion later. And keep the FSANZ baseline in mind. FSANZ's guidance, updated 30 September 2025, says minced meat products need thorough cooking, and using a thermometer is the safest way to check. If you're cooking thick burgers or meatballs, that habit matters most. Number 4. Warwick Meats QLD Pty Limited Premium 4-Star Mince Beef 500 grams. This one is a classic narrow window recall, which is exactly how people get caught. NSW Food Authority published a recall notice on the 9th of December 2025 for Warwick Meats QLD Pty Limited's Premium 4-Star Mince Beef 500 grams. The notice says the recall was due to foreign matter, plastic, and it warns that food products containing plastic may cause illness or injury if consumed. It also says the product was available for sale in independent retailers, including IGA in NSW and Queensland, with a best before date of December 13th, 2025. FSANZ also listed this recall on its National Recall Alerts page. FSANZ shows it as published on the 8th of December 2025 and updated on the 9th of December 2025, again describing the issue as foreign matter, plastic, with distribution in NSW and Queensland. Why does this matter beyond the obvious "don't eat plastic" point? Because the timing is exactly how minced meat disappears into people's kitchens. A lot of shoppers buy mince, cook it the same night, portion it for meal prep, or freeze it. By the time a recall notice circulates, it can already be cooked, packaged, and forgotten in the freezer. And the NSW Food Authority notice makes it very clear what to do. Don't eat it and return it for a refund. There's also a trust angle here. People often trust their independent retailers more than big chains, and that trust is usually earned. But a recall like this shows that supply chain problems can hit anywhere. The smartest mindset is not trust no one. It's trust, but keep the receipt trail. Practical move. If you buy fresh mince regularly, keep a simple note on your phone called Fresh Meat. Just the store name and date. When a recall notice like December 2025 happens, you can quickly rule yourself in or out. And if you want to check anything official, the FSANZ Recall Alerts page is the national source. Now we move from recalls into enforcement records. And this is where the story changes from accident to compliance. Number 3, Green Farm Produce, Premium Mince. This one is not about an accidental piece of plastic. It's about an official record describing an illegal preservative in mince. The NSW Food Authority Penalty Notice Register includes an entry for Green Farm Produce, operated by NLR Lucas Pty Ltd, for the sale of food found to contain illegal preservative, sulfur dioxide, in premium mince. In plain terms, the enforcement agency tested the mince, found something the regulator describes as illegal in that product context, and issued a penalty notice for it. That's the key difference between this batch had a problem and this product failed a basic requirement. And here's why this matters specifically for minced meat. People rely on shortcuts. If it looks fine, it's fine. But mince is exactly the product where you can't see the full story. It's mixed, it's packed, it's often cooked into dishes where visual cues disappear. Enforcement registers exist to surface what consumers cannot reliably detect at the shelf. If you want a simple rule that doesn't rely on guessing, follow the FSANZ Food Safety Baseline. FSANZ updated its guidance on the 30 September 2025, and it says minced meat products need thorough cooking, and using a thermometer is the safest way to. Check. That is one safety layer you can control, regardless of what happened upstream. Quick pause. If you're finding this breakdown useful and you're still with us, drop a comment with the number 3 so we know you're here. And if this is your first time watching, please consider subscribing and turning notifications on. It helps us keep making evidence-based consumer investigations. Number 2, Coppy's Butcher Block, Premium Beef Mince. This is another case where the NSW Food Authority's official record is clear. The NSW Food Authority Penalty Notice Register lists Coppy's Butcher Block, operated by BT Cop Pty Ltd, for the sale of food found to contain illegal preservative, sulfur dioxide, in premium beef mince. Here's the practical reason this ranks so high. It reinforces that the issue is not isolated. You've now heard multiple separate businesses recorded for the same type of non-compliance in mince. That pattern matters because it tells you this is a known risk area, and regulators are actively policing it. It also matters because premium is supposed to mean better. Better trimming, better handling, better transparency. When the official record is illegal preservative found, the premium label loses its meaning. So what's the consumer move here? If you buy mince from a local butcher, ask one question that forces clarity. Was this mince today, on site? A good butcher answers immediately. If you get vague answers, choose another option. Then apply the 2 baselines that stop you being played. Value baseline. Compare properly and don't let promotions make you forget unit price. because the ACCC's 2025 report is clear that pricing tactics can make value harder to assess. Safety baseline. Cook minced meat products thoroughly, and if you want to remove doubt, use a thermometer per FSANZ's 2025 guidance. Now, the number one spot. Number 1. Marble Meats, Premium Beef Mince. The NSW Food Authority penalty notice. Register lists Marble Meats Pty Ltd for the sale of food found to contain illegal preservative, sulfur dioxide, in premium beef mince. This lands at number 1 because it hits the core trust point in minced meat. You're buying something you can't inspect. You're trusting that the business is following the rules that exist to protect you. And when the official record says an illegal preservative was found in mince, the trust problem is already documented. Now, to be fair, penalty notices are allegations rather than a full court trial. But the NSW Food Authority publishes them because they are part of how food compliance is enforced, and because consumers and industry deserve transparency about what is being detected and policed. So that's the countdown. 2 brands appearing in official recall alerts for foreign matter in mince, and 3 brands appearing in an official enforcement register for illegal preservatives in premium mince. Now let's talk about what to do with this, because the goal isn't to scare you off mince. It's to help you buy it with your eyes open. If you ever hear about a recall and you're not sure whether you're affected, don't rely on memory. Check the exact product name, the pack size, the state distribution, and the date marking against the official recall alert. If you still have the packaging, it takes seconds. Here's a simple shopper system that matches what the evidence supports. First, make value comparable. The ACCC's final report on 21st March 2025 warns that pricing tactics and promotions can make it harder to assess value. So for mince, don't compare pack to pack. Compare price per kilogram and compare like for like on fat level. If you're buying different star ratings, you're not buying the same thing. Second, don't let convenience hide risk. If you're not cooking it soon, freeze it quickly and label it. This is less about fear and more about avoiding waste and avoiding confusion if A. Recall notice appears later. Third, cook it properly. FSANZ updated its guidance on 30 September 2025 and says minced meat products need thorough cooking and a thermometer is the safest check. That advice is especially relevant if you're doing thick patties or meatballs, where the centre can stay cooler than you think. Alright, now the better options. These are not perfect forever picks. They're better because the latest independent Australian consumer survey results rank them at the top for mince satisfaction, and because they're easier to evaluate with consistent supermarket systems like standard packaging and date marking. Better option 1, Costco beef mince. In Canstar Blue's 2025 Supermarket Meat Awards, Costco was named the top pick for beef mince, based on Australian consumer survey results. Why that matters in your kitchen is simple. Beef mince is where you feel performance immediately. If the mince is too wet, you don't brown, you steam. If the fat balance is off, your sauce is either dry or oily. If the mince is inconsistent, your same recipe stops tasting the same week to week. A consumer-driven award doesn't replace safety regulation, but it is useful for judging real-world cooking performance and value, which is what most households care about. If you want to turn that into a practical buy, here's how. Buy a size that matches your household. Portion it the same day. Freeze it flat. Label it with the month and year. It prevents the mystery mince problem, where you find something in the freezer and you're not sure if it's from last week or last season. And keep the FSANZ safety baseline. FSANZ's guidance, updated 30 September 2025, says minced meat products need thorough cooking, and a thermometer is the safest way to check. If you're doing burgers, that matters most. A burger can look browned outside and still be undercooked in the middle if it's thick. Better option 2, Aldi Lamb Mince, Canstar Blues. 2025 Supermarket Meat Awards. Named Aldi as the top pick for lamb mince, based on Australian consumer survey results. Lamb mince is where inconsistency shows up fast. The flavour is richer, and fat variation changes everything. The value of a large consumer survey result here is that it's measuring the normal household outcome across many shoppers. It's not one reviewer's opinion. To get the best out of lamb mince, cook it in 2 stages. Get proper browning first, then add liquids. And safety still matters. Lamb mince needs thorough cooking too, especially in thick kofta or meatballs. Use the FSANZ thermometer habit and you remove the guesswork. Better option 3, Coles Chicken Mince. In Canstar Blue's 2025 Supermarket Meat Awards, Coles was named the top pick for chicken mince, based on Australian consumer survey results. Chicken mince is especially sensitive to handling and freshness, and it's also where people tend to undercook slightly because they're trying to keep it tender. This is where the FSANZ 2025 guidance is worth repeating in plain language. Cook minced meat products thoroughly. If you want to remove doubt, use a thermometer. And if you're making dumplings, rissoles, meatballs, or anything where the mince is inside something else, the centre still needs to get fully cooked. Here's the simple buying rule that saves most people. Buy chicken mince close to when you'll cook it. Keep it cold on the way home. Don't let it sit in the fridge for days. Now, honest reality check. Even the better options can have off days, because no supply chain is perfect. That's why we're separating 2 things. The avoid list is based on official recalls and enforcement records, meaning documented problems regulators were willing to publish. The better list is based on the latest independent consumer survey results, meaning what most households found performed best. So there you have it. 5 minced meat brands Australians should avoid based on FSANZ recall alerts and NSW Food Authority enforcement records. And 3 better options backed by the latest Canstar Blue Supermarket Meat Awards. Have you ever checked a recall list after doing a grocery shop? Or found something in your freezer and realised you had no idea when you bought it? Drop your experience in the comments, and if there's another category you want investigated next, tell us. If this research helped, hit like so more Australians see it. Subscribe for more evidence-based consumer guides, and we'll see you in the next one. Stay informed, shop smart with the facts, and trust the evidence.